Now we are going to learn about equations of perpendicular lines. That is, when given a line and a point, we can find the equation that is perpendicular to the line and passes through that given point. Now we start with this example. Find the equation of the straight line passing through the points 3, 4 and perpendicular to the straight line 4x minus 3y equal to 10. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to have these points written out 3, 4. We name it x1, y1. Then this equation, we are going to rearrange it in this form, y equal to mx plus c. And why we are going to do that is that the relationship between a line and its perpendicular and another line which is perpendicular to it is that their gradients. If we have m1 as the gradient of the line given, we now have that it is related to the gradient of its perpendicular line with by this is the negative inverse of each other. They are the negative inverse of each other. So we have this point. So let's rearrange this. Since y is negative on this side, we're going to send y across to this side. So we have 4x. Now let's bring 10 over. Minus 10 is equal to 3y. We divide all sides by 3. Everything by 3. We are now going to have this equation. Now let's start with y. We have that y is equal to 4 over 3x minus 10 over 3. So from this we can see that the gradient from this line, this gives us that gradient m1 is equal to 4 over 3. Therefore m2 will be the inverse, negative inverse. So we turn this upside down to give us 3 over 4 and then we add a negative value to it. So negative 3 over 4 is the gradient of the line that is perpendicular to this. Now, let's use what we already know, that when we have the gradient and a point, we have that the gradient is equal to y minus y1 over x minus x1. So, since we have this gradient that we are interested in, which is negative 3 over 4, is equal to y minus y1 is 4, and then x minus x1 is 3. We cross multiply. When we do that, we are going to have negative 3 into x minus 3 is equal to 4 into y minus 4. We open up the brackets. We have negative 3x minus, no, it's not going to be minus anymore. So negative 3 times negative 3 is plus 9. Is equal to 4y minus 16. 4 times 4, 16. So before we arrange this, let's look at the equation given to us. We can see it starts with x, a positive x. So let's send x to this other side. So that means we send everything to this side. We are going to have, so 3x plus 4y. Then we equate it to, well, let's have everything here. So we have minus 16 already here. Plus 9 crosses over to be a negative 9 equal to 0. So we have 3x plus 4y minus 16 minus 9 is negative 25 equal to 0. But if we want to have it in the form of the original equation given to us, we're going to have 3x plus 4y is equal to 25. So this is the equation of the line, which is perpendicular to this and passes through this point. So that is the equation. Find the equation of the straight line which passes through the point minus 2 comma 7 and perpendicular to the line, minus 4y plus 2x equal to minus 3. Okay, so as usual, the first thing we do is to write out these points. Negative 2 comma 7. We have x1, y1. Then we rearrange this in the form of y equal to mx plus c. We have, since y is negative on this side, so let us send it across to this side. We have 2x, the negative 3 crossover to be plus 3 is equal to 4y, right? We now divide everything by 4. So when we do that, we are going to have that half, that is to reduce this to the lowest terms. Half of x plus 3 over 4 is equal to y. So we can see that this is the gradient of this line. So that m1 is equal to half. Therefore, m2 is going to be the negative inverse of this. So when we invert half, it is 2. And then we add the negative sign. As easy as that, right? Good. Now, we have that m2 should be equal to y minus y1 over x minus x1. This is going to give us the equation of that line, which is perpendicular to this and passes through this point. Okay, so we have that negative 2 is equal to y minus y1 is 7 over x minus x1 is negative 2. This gives us that negative 2 is equal to y minus 7 over x plus 2. We cross multiply. When we cross multiply, we are going to have that negative 2 into x plus 2 is equal to y minus 7. Okay, we open up the bracket. We have negative 2x minus 4 is equal to y minus 7, right? Before we now rearrange, let's look at the original equation given to us. It starts with y, and okay, so we can as well send everything to this side and then equate it to the constants. Or we can send everything to this side and equate it to the constants. So whichever way. So let me have everything sent to this side so we have positive values. Equations are better looking that way. Okay, so let's send every of this unknown to this side and then the known numbers to this other side. So we are going to have minus 2x crossover to be a plus 2x. And then y is already positive on this side. Then on this side, we had negative 4. Minus 7 crosses over to be plus 7. I hope it's understood. So we now have minus 4 plus 7 is equal to 3. And then we have 2x plus y. So we can still have it this other way. So it starts with x. We have 2x plus y is equal to 3. So this is the line which is perpendicular to the original line and passes through the given point. Now, since we're already familiar with how to get the equation of a line which is perpendicular to another line passing through a given point, let us do some application questions. So in this, we have a constant, that is a coefficient that is an unknown. The line 9x minus ky plus 7 is equal to 0 is perpendicular to the line 2x minus 3y minus 3 equal to 0. Find the value of the constant k. Okay, so we have to find what k is. So we know what we are going to do is we are going to relate these two equations of straight lines to this form, y equal to mx plus c. And then we already know what the relationship between the gradient of this line and the gradient of this line should be. We have, let's write this out, 9x minus ky plus 7 equal to 0. And on this side, we have 2x minus 3y minus 3 equal to 0. Now, let's rearrange this in this form. We are going to have 9x. So since this is negative, let's send it over to this side, right? Since the y value is negative. So 9x plus 7 is equal to ky. Now we divide everything by k. we are going to now have that since we divided everything by k, so we're going to have that y is equal to, then this side, 9 over kx plus 7 over k. Now let's do the same thing to this. Since this is negative, we send it across. We have 2x minus 3 is equal to 3y. We divide everything by 3. We are going to have, let's have y first. Y is equal to 2 over 3x minus 1. So we have had it in this form. So since we know the gradient of this is m1 is equal to 2 over 3. Therefore, m2 will be equal to the inverse of this, which is 3 over 2, and then the negative, right? Negative inverse of this, we add the negative. So, meaning that if this is m2, m2 is 9 over k. It should be equal to negative 3 over 2. So this is what we are going to equate in order to solve for k. How do we do that? We cross multiply. When we do that, we are going to have 9 times 2 is equal to negative 3k. So 18 is equal to negative 3k. We divide both sides by negative 3. We are going to have that k is equal to 18 over 6 is 18 over 3 is 6. So that is negative 6. So the k in the equation is equal to negative 6. Okay, let's do that again in order to make sure we've learned how to use this. Find the values of k for which lines this and this are perpendicular to each other. So we are going to have this. Okay, let me start with this. 3y is equal to 4x minus 1. And we have ky is equal to x plus 3. Now let's have it in this form, y equal to mx plus c. Okay, y is already here, so we divide everything by 3. We have that y is equal to 4 over 3x minus 1 over 3. Now that means that m1 is equal to this, 4 over 3. Therefore, m2 is equal to negative, right? And then we invert 3 over 4. Now let's relate this. We divide everything by k. So that's y equal to 1 over k. It should be x over k. So 1 over k, so that it stands out. We can now pick it out as its gradient plus 3 over k. So since we know that the gradient m2 is equal to 1 over k, right? The gradient m2 is 1 over k, so it should be equal to this. We now equate this. We have that 1 over k is equal to negative 3 over 4, so that we can find what k is. We cross multiply. When we do that, we are going to have that 4 is equal to minus 3k. We divide both sides by negative 3. Therefore, k is equal to negative 4 over 3. This is the answer. Now, before we go, let's also have another variety of finding a constant from this using perpendicular lines again. A straight line, this passes through this point and is perpendicular to this line. Find the value of k. Okay, so here what we are going to do is, which line are we in? Which line should it? So this is the straight line that passes through this point, right? So, and it's perpendicular to this other line. So what we are going to do is, this line passes through this point, right? So this other line, let us find its gradient and then know what the gradient of this line should be. We have 5x minus 2y plus 3 equal to 0. Let's get it in this form. So let's send this negative value of y over to this side. We have 5x plus 3 is equal to 2y. We divide everything by 2 so that we can now have that y is equal to 5 over 2x plus 3 over 2. Therefore, m1 is equal to 5 over 2. So this leads us to say that m2 will be equal to the negative inverse of this, 2 over 5. So this is m2. And we are told that this m2 passes through the point k, comma, minus 2. So this is our x1, this is our y1. Now we have that m2 is equal to y minus y1 over x minus x1. This should give us the equation of the line m2. Okay, we have that negative 2 over 5 is equal to y minus y1 is negative 2, x minus x1 is k. We cross multiply. We have negative 2 into x minus k equal to y. That is 5 into y plus 2. We open up the brackets. We have negative 2x, it becomes plus k is equal to 5y plus 10. Okay, before we rearrange this equation, let's compare it with the equation of that line given to us. So we have 2x plus 5y plus 12 equal to 0. So this is that equation given to us in the question, right? So we've written it down. Now let's rearrange this to look like this. It has positive 2x, so everything is sent to this side, right? So on this, everything sending to this side, we have 2x comes to this side. The 5y is already here. And then plus 10 is already here. The k comes as negative k and we equate it to 0. So having that, let's compare directly. When we compare directly, we are going to see we have 2x, 2x, 5y, 5y. Then this plus 12 is what is represented by plus 10 minus k. So we have that 12 is equal to 10 minus k. When we solve this, we can find what k is. Okay, so let's collect slide terms. We have 12 minus 10 is equal to negative k. So we have that 2 is equal to negative k. We divide by minus 1 so that the k can be positive. We have that negative 2 is equal to k. So k is equal to negative 2. So that is the value of k. Oh, we've come a long way. But the major thing is that we have learned how to get the perpendicular, that's the equation which is the equation of a line which is perpendicular to a given line when we've been given a point that perpendicular line should pass through. And we've done some application questions. So you can rewatch some parts of this video that might be overwhelming, and then you look for similar questions to solve. Perfect practice makes perfection, right? So you practice, and then very soon this becomes a very, very integrated part of you.